and thanks for joining us on yet another exciting episode of your favorite show, Engendered on KAFTAN Television. Like you know, it's a show where we'll discuss all issues relating to the female gender. My name is Fumlayo Show.
And I am Sandra Ago. Welcome to Engendered. On today's episode of Engendered, we shall be discussing a very important topic, and we have a very beautiful guest in our midst. But before we go into the program, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, Engendered continues. Stay with us.
Glad to have you back on the program. If you're just joining us, this is still Engendered coming to you from Abuja studio. Like we said before the break, we're going to be looking at a very important topic, which is why some men shy away from successful women. We have a very beautiful guest joining us on the program today. She is Mrs. Irene Ugba. She is a gender advocate and author, a public speaker, a social commentator. Can you see we really brought in a successful woman to come school us on the topic today. Join me to welcome her.
Thank you.
Nice Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Good day, Abuja. It's good to be here.
Good to have you too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we should just let's just start the conversation without wasting too much time. Now, we have some men that actually value successful women. But we have some on the other hand that feel intimidated. They feel threatened by a lady's success. Let's start from who started this? I don't want to say who started or how did this come about? Like, how did it start? Let's just start that way.
Okay. For me to start, I would like to say, first of all, I think we're referring to Nigerian men, right? Black men, is the African men, because of course, these are things we need to look at in, a holistic perspective.
Yes.
Because we're talking of looking at, if we say US now or UK, their paradigm has shifted greatly more than us.
Yes.
So now let's put it in the right, let's say Nigerian men or African men. Okay. So now we have to go back to history. We have to go back to our forefathers. Culturally, how were we raised? How were, our parents raised? Cultural expectation was that a man went out to provide for the family while the woman stayed back to take care of the home. And then even if she needed to go to the farm, she went with her children to bring the things they would use at home. So the man was seen as the provider, the protector and all. So that was the cultural expectation, as even when boys were brought up in the family, those were the things they were teaching them, that you are in charge, you are this, you are that, so you're the and all that. So culturally and societally, that is what African men had grown up, to hear and to see. So it happens that way, and of course, like I keep saying, patriarchy is not a good thing. It's not a good thing because over time, you now see that, of course, there were, aside from just telling them they were protector, provider, of course, there are things that say women cannot do, women should not do. Women can be seen but not heard. There's some meetings that women were not allowed to. And then there are things, we were talking about the gizzard thing, then women were not allowed to eat gizzard of chicken. I mean, gizzard is one bag.
There's some traditions and customs that don't really favor women. And it all started from...
Exactly. And I keep saying that the people who sat to do those things were men who just felt that women must be subjugated. And they sat down, they made those laws, whether it was written or unwritten, and then generations after had used it.
I hope they won't just sue us right now because of that statement that people who actually sat down.
No, they sat somewhere. I keep saying they sat somewhere to make, because if you look at it, a woman is also, in fact, I was in a discussion with someone, I said that in their place, there's a taboo, in a particular meeting where a woman will cook the food, she's not allowed to taste. She will wash her hands and leave, and then the men will come eat the food. If she's not allowed to taste it, what if the food doesn't taste it, she'll be sent out. It's aru, as in Igbo, aru, that's taboo. Why did you do that? You know, so, and you have lots of cultural practices like that. You know,
that
and
backs all of this up.
You know, so you see, we all grew up and men grew up that way, and today we see that we're in the 21st century, and we are ready to shatter the glass ceiling.
Yes, because the way the things
we are not buying that idea.
So ready to change the narrative.
Yes. They should miss us on that.
Yeah, now let's move forward a bit. Now, talking about this successful women, how do we, is it that, can we actually say men are outrightly, like they just shy away from successful men, or because of so many things that are attached to you being successful? Because even as a single lady, there are times that you'll be in relationships and your guy or your so-called fiance will see you as like you're doing too much, that this is not what you're supposed to be doing. As a lady, you're not supposed to be in places like this. You're not supposed to, you know, they start giving you rules. And you know, because of how vulnerable we are, because of the way we are in society, we feel, okay, at the end of the whole thing, you know, our fathers even used to say that after reading all the books, after doing everything, you find yourself in your husband's house and you keep discharging the duties, most importantly in the kitchen. But then at the end of the day, some of them, they go down to the level of this man. Okay, I just have to save my home. I just have to save this relationship, and because of that, they just fall victim like that. How do we correct all those narratives? Okay. How do we bring the girl child to understand that there is no rule that says what a man can do, a woman can do it? Okay, first I would like to tell you that for men, why they look at those things, apart from the cultural and the societal expectation, is also their ego. Ego that God had put in them, which is just in them, you know, male ego. You know, the man feels he has to be in charge. Yes, even while you're still dating or dating. I'm even coming back to that one. Dating. He's already in control, you know, and he wants to run your life. I mean, here you are, 25, 26, you have run your life all by yourself with the help of God. Then you met him 3 months later, and then he wants to run your life. The ego there. Then you also have the perception. The perception that when a woman is successful, she won't respect me. So, you know, so you see some of the men are like, you know, these women, if you don't cut their wings now, right? They say it. They say, if you don't clip her wings, before you know, she'll make it now. She will not respect you. So the perception is there. The ego is there. You know, and all of this is what, you know, guys rap and then they bring it into the relationship. Now, I don't advise any girl, any woman, any young lady, whether old lady, to depreciate yourself because you want to fit into a man's life. No, it is totally wrong, because if you are, let me take myself for an example. I'm ambitious. So and then I've been married. I'm going to be by April, my marriage will be 17 years. So I'm looking at myself now like, okay, if I had tried to, you know, bring down myself just to fit it, how long? This is 17 years old now. So for how long? Maybe by the 7th year, my real self will rise up, because I want to go aim for the world, and then we'll begin to have friction. You know, but I have allowed myself, like, you met me like this, you know, this is how you met me, an ambitious woman. And can I tell you, that is even what attracts some men. Yes.
That ambitious, that go-getting spirit. And then when they come in, because men have this thing of, you know, men are territorial, they are authoritative, and they like this thing of, let me go and conquer. You know, the way they want to conquer everything. So you're like, the next game, I have to conquer her. Oh, you mean Sandra, that girl that appears on TV, I go pursue her. I will get
she
her.
Has started to grow
So he tries to conquer, he has gotten you as by relationship wise. Meanwhile, the thing that attracted him is that he saw you on TV. Saw you on TV, and then he sees the way you are reading your English, you're doing this, and like every time you're appearing on TV, in his mind, let me conquer her. But you know, he also forgets that in coming to you, if you know what you're doing, you're not going to bring yourself down because of him. So you now begin to have friction. If he's okay, if you start dating him, now he wants to tell you, oh, I don't like the fact that you appear in 9 p.m. news. Is it not too late? And then you're like, hello. But that 9 p.m. news was the news he was watching. I said, I love that girl. I love her, you know. So that conquering spirit is in them, because they love, a lot of them like to see ambitious women. I tell people, Kamala Harris is reigning now. All the guys that are on social media, I have asked several of them, will you be Kamala Harris' husband? And there is a
they need to think about it.
They need to think about it, you know, and all. You know, so no lady should don't bring yourself down because of a man. Don't cut your ambitions down because of a man. However, I will still talk on balancing, but don't bring yourself. Don't think I can't aim to be a doctor because the guy that wants to marry me, when we wrote JAMB, he said if I become a doctor, he's going to be what's it called, social worker. Hello.
You know this thing. Sorry, Sandra, because a friend of mine, while we were in school, she was in this relationship, and she happened to be in after we finished, she went to law school. And after the whole thing, the relationship was going fine. We talked about it and all. But then all of a sudden, because it's been long, we chatted. And then when are we buying Ashwebi and all of that? She was just like, yeah, the guy said it's done. I said, why? I said, because she's aiming to be a barrister and all of that. And there's one thing about lawyers that they are not submissive. They don't listen. I said, was that just the reason? He said, yes, that was the reason. He said, yeah, at the end of the day, she will start feeling like and I'm like, and she said, you just sent her a message and the relationship is over.
But that's really about rubbish.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I've been in that same position too. When I just started working here, there's this guy I met then. The problem was, you're always for me busy. Is it because you are showing on TV? That was his constant word. And he kept on saying that. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry I cannot feed your ego. I'm sorry that you have this low self-esteem. You don't know how to. But I'm not going to run after you. If you cannot keep up, bye. And
yes,
you move. You move. Because
and that was how we put an end to it.
Now, because, okay, I have been married for a while now, and I have seen marriages that have crashed. And one of the reasons is because after a while, the man feels that he cannot subjugate her, and she feels she will not be subjugated, and they both have to part ways. A broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. So at that point of still dating, you just have to spell out what you want. You have to look out for guys who really support you. I'm not saying the one who are attracted by the facade of the fact that, okay, my wife is a doctor. But when it gets down to it, she goes for night shift.
You have to do to actually be a doctor.
Exactly, the responsibility that comes with that.
She's on night shift and you cannot even take care of the children. And then you're calling her when she's attending to patient. I don't like this, so I don't like this. His condition I make crayfish to bend. Look at me now. I just finished homework. This, that. In fact, tomorrow again, you call. He said, excuse me, can you imagine? Is it not like we have turned this table around? Am I not the one that's supposed to be outside and you inside and making sure these children are you seeing? So it has to be someone who really, at the end of the day, is down to what you're doing, supports it and all. They are not easy to find because I'm telling you that this group of boys I see these days, let me not call them boys, guys. This group of guys I see these days, a lot of them, they love the facade. They love that thing of this lady's ambition.
Exactly.
But when it gets down
when they can show you off to their friends, that's my lady. When it gets down to the
nitty-gritty, you see them not showing up. You're not there. I say, okay, Kamala Harris will attend political meetings, wouldn't she?
Yes.
And somebody has to keep the home running. Why she may have to travel from Alabama to California to this, to that, and all to do campaigns. Who has to do? So. This idea of, I like girls who are ambitious, but you're not also looking at yourself and how will I be a support to an ambitious woman? It's something we need to start teaching our boys. And even before we get to the support, is that I also say that mothers, my son is going to be 16, and I have drilled, in fact, he's now a gender advocate. Because I have drilled it into his medulla. He just has to understand that what a boy can do, a girl can do. So his sisters are there, and my son can cook well. And because I've told him, I said, you might not marry someone like your mom who is working for herself. Your wife might be working in something Lloyd's Bank in the UK, and then you are working, and you come back home before her, and you have to make your dishes. See, those things are not even gender. It's just because patriarchy. I say patriarchy is bad. Patriarchy made this thing look as though they are gender, exclusive. Cooking is not a gender exclusive job.
Should be a gender. And everybody should know.
It's a life skill. It's a life skill. Now he's sitting over there. If he gets home, will he not buy water to eat? So will he use his salary here to begin to eat all in the canteen, in the restaurant and fast food? So it's a life skill. Cleaning your home is a life skill. you know, making sure that your places, your budget, everything is a life skill. It's not a gender thing.
Even the very petty things, like you stand rising up from your bed, laying in your bed, making sure your apartment is neat. It should not be a girl thing.
And you know, see some of these men that don't even know how to do these things. Say they want successful women. How do you want a successful woman when you cannot take care of yourself?
You can't look after yourself.
She has to struggle between being successful and taking care of a baby man.
Exactly. And the irony of the whole thing is that they come back to say you're not submissive. That was what I was going to ask. So I was going to ask this issue of when you get to a certain level in your career, or when you get to the peak of your career as a lady, or even in the process, men start seeing you as not being submissive. Or looking at this girl even from afar, no, she can never be submissive in marriage. You know, they have this orientation that if you're a career-driven lady, if you're a lady that you're focused, you have passion for what you really enjoy what you're doing, they feel you can't be submissive. And every tiny little argument, okay, is that the way you're supposed to be talking to me? This is exactly what I'm saying. How are you going to be submissive to me? And then we all find ourselves in this kind of thing.
Some women actually play a role in this. Aside the fact that men say it, some women, once they attain a certain level of whatever it is that they want, they become very bossy. They become saucy.
Yes, we can overrule that. But I just want to know personally why this statement is very, very, like, every guy, like an everyday guy would say something like that, no, when you get in, you can never be submissive. And they just round everything up without even knowing you.
Like I said initially, I said perception. Perception is like if you're educated, you are, you know, those days, you know, there was a time when men, of course, when you look at the education, men went to school first, you know, and all that, and then we started saying girls should go to school. So those men who went to school in the city, especially in the southeastern part of Nigeria, they came back home to the village to come and marry a wife. Their mothers would say they should come back. Why? Because they needed them to come and marry a submissive, so-called submissive girl who is not educated. You know, so it's a perception thing, because those girls are not educated. They now go to the city, now start doing makeup and wearing bow straight and everything, and then hair, you know, the real thing comes out, you know, and they start complaining again. So it's a perception. But how be it, you know, I think that women too, we have a role to play. We have a role to play in the sense that I tell women, when you're in a relationship, see, it's a relationship. It's not a career goal. It's not, you know, because you have been used to in the office, everything is goal oriented. You know, I need to crush this goal. I'm having meeting with the fellow guys. I'm like, if you don't deliver, you cannot stand in my way. You know, if the driver is not working, I get both. I tell Uber to pick me there, you know. So you are just goal oriented. You take that into the relationship where it's all about, I need to crush the goal, I need to crush the goal. No, relationship is not to be achieved. You don't achieve a relationship. You flow in a relationship. You know, so that's again. So you see where you are bringing in that same office characteristics of competition into the relationship. So the man also, and we can never take away from the fact that the man wants to be a man. So in relationship, a woman needs to also have a feminine side. You know, because you're in the office, there's a way this thing toughen us. You now become masculine. I'm an alpha woman. I'm an alpha. You know?
Mrs. Irene, at this point we need to take a quick break. All right, viewers, we'll be taking a short break, and when we come back, we'll still be talking more on this topic. We'll be right back. How many minutes was this?
Welcome back to the program. This is still Engendered, coming to you from our studio here in Abuja. Before we went on that short break, Mrs. Irene was discussing with us reasons why men shy away from successful women. So, Mrs. Irene, you were saying something, but before you went on the break, I wanted to add from what you were saying. You know, they say in a relationship, two people have to meet each other halfway. So now you're a successful woman, a goal-driven woman. And then because I know lots of women that are goal-driven and aim for bigger things don't actually have time to invest so much in their families or relationship. Now, don't you think it is wrong? Because at some point, you have to meet your partner or whoever you're having a relationship with somewhere in the middle. So don't you think to meet in the middle, you have to do away with some things? And now looking at it, some women will be like, no, why would I leave this because I'm in a relationship with somebody? What's your take on that?
Okay, it's totally wrong because see, one of the key, you know, to balancing even your life as a woman, maybe one of these will have a topic on that, because life is all about balance. I'm not saying that you can balance everything, you know, successfully, but you must try. You cannot say because you are a successful woman, then your relationship aspect is dying. It's totally wrong. See, at the end of it all, see, family is what you got.
Yeah.
I tell people that if the coronavirus lockdown didn't teach us anything, at least it would have taught us that anywhere you are in this world, you must be connected to your family. Because hotels were shut. So all those men who never spent nights in their houses,
they always
forced. You had to
yes.
eject them. Because you know some men are permanent residents in in hotels and apartments. They had to be ejected. So they had to come back home. That same family they were running away from. There were some women who didn't even know their children had started exhibiting certain kind of behaviors. But they were forced to stay at home. So you see that family is about it. So for you, no matter how successful you are, your family you should make time for your family, because at the end of the day, you retire from a career. You don't retire from a family. After 60 years, 70 years, you know, you go back home. So, and you can't say, oh, I've retired from this family now. The only time you retire from a family is when you're dead. And family is still needed to bury you and do a successful burial like we like in this part of the world. You know, so every woman should strive to have a balance. Then, of course, it's challenging because when your kids are smaller, let me even talk about the married ones. When your kids are smaller, the mothers, you know, as much as I don't tell you to give up your dream, you have to find a way of trudging those children along and doing a good job at it, and you're doing your whatever work you're doing. Because we can't breed up societal menace, and that is what is happening. Because also, like I say, we want to be the alpha woman, alpha this, you know, all those kind of things. And then you forget that, of course, you still have a primary duty, which is to raise another human being to become successful. And you must do a good job at it. If every mother and every parent does a good job at bringing up their children, we'll have less vices in the society. So as much as I tell women, I'm ambitious, very, very highly, but there are some ambition I also delayed. You know, I'm here with you now, but some 10 years back, I couldn't have been here by this time because my kids were really small then, and I never wanted them to go with school bus. So I went to pick them myself. Then my daughter closed by 12 or so, my son by 12:30, and I just have to do it. You know, so I'm not saying every mother must do that, but there are certain things you are giving up, especially when it comes to your children, so that you can raise them, because your heart ache tomorrow. If you don't take care of today, you have heartache tomorrow. You may have succeeded career-wise, and then you come back, these children are now a pain in the flesh, and then you're going from prayer to this to counseling, which is already late because they are now formed, they are now humans of their own, and so on. So I say there must be some balancing. There must be some balancing. But when it comes to the men, and I think that's where we need, maybe in the subsequent one, we need to look at how men support successful women, even in the key to that balancing, you know, because every woman should make time for a relationship.
Thank you so much for that. So on that note, I want to raise a question. If you look at the society we're in now, we have this females that believe as a successful lady, as a career-driven lady, that it takes longer time for them to even be in a relationship, not to talk of start nurturing a relationship and see whether it's actually going to lead to the high or not. But then looking at it generally, do you support this kind of opinion that career-driven ladies or successful ladies, so to say, they find it difficult to be in a relationship, or many of them just feel like relationship is not for everybody? Because I've actually seen friends that feel getting married is not an achievement. So the fact that you're married doesn't mean you're happier than I am while I'm single. What's with this notion? Do you actually buy into it? Is it true that career-driven ladies, passion-driven ladies, they don't tend to be in very good relationship? They are not even lucky to be in relationship, and some of them don't even have time for relationship. How true is this?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, because a lot of people who just, you know, I tell younger girls that you need to have a life plan. You need to have a life goal. You need to tell yourself, see, when you're making a goal or a plan, you have career goal, relationship goal. But you see, young ladies don't even plan for relationship goals because they're just there like, oh yeah, you know, there again, perception. Maybe the guys are, they'll find me when they're ready.
Exactly.
And
when it comes, it comes.
Yes, yeah, when it comes, it
and
comes.
then the fact that I can get whatever I need, I can get anything. So what's the point?
You need to be deliberate. You need to be deliberate. You need to be intentional. You know, so you know, somebody was having, you know, there was a time they had all these things on social media where they say if you work in the bank, you end up dating your computer and so on because you're sitting in front of the computer all through. See, you need to have, as long as it's a goal you have set, the same way you set that in 2 years time I'm going to have an MBA or an MPA or whatever masters, the same way you tell yourself, okay, yes, you're not the one chasing yourself, but you need to bring out yourself. If you don't bring out yourself, there are some, you know, young girls who don't go out, they are so career driven that when they have thank God it's Friday, TGIF in the office, they don't attend. Just let your head down. No, nobody's even pursuing you. Just bring down the hair and drink juice. She will not. Small chops, she will not. I have a target, I have a target, I have a target. And she has moved. Okay, church, they are doing singles hangouts. You won't see her there. You know, you know that the other synopsis of this, I have to finish up this synopsis. And you see that you're not bringing yourself, you're not intentional. Because when people come to the door of your house to knock, to, you know, to ask you out, you know, so you must have goals. As you have set goals for your career, set goals for money goals, you know, set relationship goals. My relationship goal is that every month, at least once in a month, I hang out with my girls. If you hang out with your girls and you're just chit-chatting, you put yourself out there. My relationship goal is every whatever quarterly meeting or hangout of the office, I must be there. Even if it's for just 1 hour. And you're putting yourself out there. And then, see, again, sometimes, you know, because you know that these things are things when they are new to us. Men have always known that they will succeed in their career. It's a given. Most men, when as they're coming out, you know, he's already targeting as a trainee, this, that. I give myself 7 years, I'll become a manager. A woman has to fight twice as hard to get that. So that has so now conditioned us into everything is a competition. Like I said before, it's a competition. I have to do this. I have to, so that I can get to that thing. So you find out that so many other aspects we live unattended, are being neglected. You know, a man will, because it's a given, he will attend other things. But because it's not a given for a woman, she's doing 3 times work of the man so that she can get it. In that way, so many things, even some health-wise. See, some women, ladies don't go for check. They don't check anything. They check nothing. You say, I had headache, I just run paracetamol. I have to, I have to get it done. I have to get, and then even her career suffers because she just feels that it's a competition she must. But you must be intentional about every aspect of your life. If you say, okay, I'm going to get married at 30, and by 27, you don't even attend anything, and you are still at, how does that work? People must see you to say, oh, Sandra is beautiful. Fumi is beautiful. I think I should start something. It's not until they see you.
Okay, now let's
say that sometimes we can actually cause it for ourselves not to be approachable.
Yes, and sometimes this tough look, laugh out loud. You know, in my book I wrote, I said, see, pretty girls are girls who laugh. Don't be too uptight. Yes, beauty is not just, don't be too uptight. You are there. It's not even a board meeting, but you have carried board meeting. You are with your computer. Meanwhile, they are just hanging, they're just talking. Did you watch that Alibaba show? You're so uptight.
We are talking business.
You're talking business. The next thing has them, so is there no other anything to talk about? Is this what you are doing here? Just this much up and drinking this. They say, life is not becoming down. Becoming down.
Okay, now let's take into consideration what you just said. You have to hang out, you have to come out, laugh out loud. Okay, let's take in, you're in the process of laughing out loud and coming out, that you meet this fine brother that you like. So what should you do to balance this relationship between you and this brother? Now speak for the both parties, from the man's perspective and from the woman's perspective.
Okay. Now, when you meet someone, value is important. Start with value.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know for your generation, you know, oh, she's cute, he's really babe, he's handsome, this, you know, oh, I love her, Fumi, that's lovely, Sandra, very fair, you know, and for a long time it occupies the discussion.
Okay.
But I know that, of course, there must be physical attraction. I don't put away physical attraction. You can't overrule it. 2, but what is the value? What is that thing bringing two of you together? Now you started to date. You see a guy whom he picks the call and he tells the person, I am in Wuse to me while he's in Metama. That rings a bell. Is that the value you want? In front of you. And he's not even mincing words about it. Okay, next time he beats traffic lights and then he's not even angry. Because you know that sometimes you unconsciously do that. You say, oh shit, why did I just do? He takes it as a normal thing. Another time, the lady herself, you know, you meet her, okay, you went to eat and so on, and then she says, oh no, sorry, I don't like this kind of place. I don't want them to see me in this kind of area. Yeah. Are you seeing value system?
Yeah.
You'll be asking yourself, is it going to work? Is this going to work? You know, so you need to check on values. If the values now align, then of course there are discussions, you know, Kim, I like the way I've heard him talk to his mom on the phone. I saw some level of respect.
Yeah.
You know, if he could respect his mom that way, that means, of course, he's a respectful person. Check the way he treats even the gate man. Because all those people who he does not expect favors from, check it. The same way with the lady. You know, a story was told of a lady who was always abusing the security men in the estate. And she would always, they said it was even a day she used it was a story. She used a high heel and hit one of them. And you see, these are the board of directors that will determine people that will come into the estate now.
It's true.
So, you know, some guys came to look for her. And the guy shouted, is it she? Oh, God, be careful, oh. That was the end of the relationship. You know, because, you know, we be careful. The man wants to know more things.
Yes.
You know? A man that was, so tell me what, you know, and that was our news, you know, she's this, she's that. You know, so for some people, some people, some men wouldn't mind. They'll be like, okay, I don't care, you know. So, but what I'm saying is, so you check out how the guy, so if those values align, you now start discussion. You must make time. There must be, see.
But then is that enough? Is value enough?
No.
Because looking at we ladies, sometimes you want to, okay, fine, I have a career. I have a job. I have a well-paying job. Okay, this is somebody that probably is still struggling to do some things, but then he has this manly kind of attitude, no? Because he hasn't even gotten to where he wants to be, but then he's exhibiting this kind of thing that, okay, I will still be your man. One way or the other, I will be your husband. Do you understand? And me, I have a job, but then looking at all this, okay, fine, the value is aligning, but then looking at financial aspect, at this things, are we not supposed to be bothered about some other things?
No, you should be bothered about the finance, because you could have good value. You could have someone who just gels with you in terms of your Christian faith or maybe Muslim faith, but he's not hardworking. He's not even thinking. There's nothing wrong with you. You're anymore. You're ambitious. Is he ambitious as well? You know, because you don't want to have a man that's become a liability to you.
Yeah.
So you're also looking at that you're starting out and you're any more than him is not even the problem.
Yes.
The problem now is that what is it that he really wants to do to come up? And then, like I wrote in one article, I said, what do women mean by guy has potentials? Because I see your generation say, you know, my boyfriend has potentials. And I've been asking them, what is potential? Just explain potential to me, because potential as I knew 20 years ago isn't what I hear from you guys. Now, let me give you an example. In those days, when you say a guy had potential, I met my husband in school, in the university. He had potentials. Let me use the word potential like people use it these days. You know, he had potential in the sense that even when we were in school, he was training himself. He was seeing himself through school. Because he studied architecture, he was making cars, he was doing things, he was selling pure water. He would go and work in the factory and then supply it and all. You see potential, he was able to put himself through school. Now, I had a side hustle, even while I was a student, because I lost my dad on time. And then I could see, these were some potentials. In fact, from his small distance, he would come and buy me things. So,
he was being supportive too financially.
And then me, I'm like, no, please use your money, I beg. Let me, at least you still need, and architecture is expensive. But that was how I understood potential. So when we came out of school, he was still looking for work. While looking for work, he had gone to sites to look for where he could supply things and they will pay him. I know for supply you don't really need to have money. You just have to establish credibility to someone, and then you're able to supply. They pay you, you pay the supplier, and then get your own cut on top. You know, so those are the potentials I understood until he now got, you know, a proper job, so to say. Now these days, the potential I see you girls, you know, your generation talk about is that, okay, ma, the guy has master degree in chemical engineering. I say, hey, is he coming to do nuclear weapon for us? He said, no, ma. But actually, he has put in his CV in NDDC in this. I said, so right now, what is he doing? Ma, he's not doing anything. Now he has submitted the CVs. I said, no. A guy who has potential has submitted this thing in NNPCC, NDDC, everywhere. The next thing he should do is go and meet Uber boat. They pair people.
Yeah.
Yes, he rides a car or go and learn how to ride. They pair him with someone who has a car. That is the definition of potential. He's earning something. At the end of the month, they say 80,000 naira for the driver, something for the owner of the car. Potential. That is what I understand. But the potential, you know, hear the girl say, man, and she collects her salary. Now she go and recharge his DSTV. She will buy his lights for him and put credit in the. She will do shopping and put in his house. And then, you know, even all sorts. Even guy, okay, and like, I don't understand that potential. That potential that makes a man sit at home, and in the name that he has submitted CVs, and he's not doing anything, and you that you're doing something, and you want to carry your salary, service to take care of your mother.
But can't you attribute that to being a good supporting system to your...
No.
You know, before we go further on that...
Because from what you just said, I'm sensing that you're saying the quality of men we have now is also a factor.
Yeah.
Okay. See, before I go further on this discussion, please, please let's take a quick break. Let's go for a quick break. All right, viewers, I hope you've been enjoying every bit of the conversation, because I've actually been enjoying it seriously, because she has actually been schooling us, because these things, I don't think I've heard them before. But then let's take a quick break. When we come back, the program continues. We'll be right back.
Are you sleeping on me?
Welcome back to the program. This is still Engendered, coming to you from our studio here in Abuja. Before we went on a break, Mrs. Irene was talking to us about men with potential. So it seems that most of us have been misplacing our priorities. Seriously. Calling the wrong things potential. And if you missed that, please join us for the rest of the conversation.
Yeah. So as you were saying, as you were complaining, because I was trying to say probably the lady was just being like a supporting system. Like at least my guy doesn't have something to do. Like I don't want him to feel like okay. And you're working. What are you even contributing? Are you happy?
But then like these men don't like women feeding their ego. Are you forgetting that part of the?
But then some people still accept it.
You don't enable laziness.
Okay.
You don't, because some young ladies are enablers. I'm not saying don't support. Supporting and enabling laziness are two different things.
Okay.
Now, if a guy, I know that even while I was dating my husband before we got married, after I finished, there was certain time because I had a job, I had a side job, and you know, there were times I had to give him some money. I said, okay, add to what you're doing right now, you know. So because I saw him doing something how can I be enabling somebody who is with remote watching ESPN and then whatever Baka and La Liga 24 hours? Then I'm the one that recharge the light for you and then buy you your and those kind of guys don't even watch Go TV, so it has to be proper DSTV. Yes. So then you now go and buy food stuff and keep for him.
Exactly.
And then you now say because they have actually he has submitted the CV.
Yeah, he's making effort.
That
they paint it that way.
Making effort. That CV can take 5 years. Now the next line is yes, he had actually put for some bids. You know, his uncle in UK gave him $200. He changed it and actually bought bid in some this, and I'm like, do you know people that get bid? Don't even bother yourself. But the thing is, potential has to be seen, that this person is converting potential into action. That I earned 200,000, I gave him 50,000 or 100,000 to add to the dry cleaning. This thing he started that because he's still looking for work, but actually right now what he did was, you know, in the 1-bedroom flat he lives, his uncle left it for him and traveled. He's now washing clothes there. You know, he got one Malam boy to be doing ironing. Does that not sound correct?
But then why don't you think that some of these men actually have bigger dreams? Not everybody wants to be a director.
Yes.
Some of them want to work in big companies and they keep submitting their CV
they are relaxed.
every single month, year by year. They are submitting CV to those same companies that they want to.
You see, it's and you know, it's really an aberration in Nigeria, where people think that, you know, when you come out of school, you must do a white collar job. Abroad is not the same. You come out of school, even when you're looking for work, you're doing blue-collar job. You see them at McDonald's, you see them, people who have, because they must have to keep body and soul together. And then do you know what you're also doing? You're increasing your job experience. Because between the person who is sleeping at home with that same certificate and the other person who is doing something, one person has moved. Now, if they were to appear before a panel for a job, they will pick most likely the one who is doing something. It's okay, what's your work experience? So right now, I set up a little laundry I'm doing right now, and each week I'm able to, you know, do 70 clothes per week. Any serious-minded organization say this. Say, what do you do? Say, right now, I've been trying to get a job, but right now, I've not done anything in the last 2 years. Say, please, keep your certificate. It is even expiring, as a matter of fact.
Seriously?
So, I know that, and that is the cross of what I'm talking about when I say the young boys of these days or young guys. As much as you are looking at you're aiming for that, up there. You need to be seen to be doing something now. And you see, that is also why you see these relationship issues. You have problems.
Yes.
Let's look at a guy and a girl who graduated together at the same time. The girl decides to start baking cake. They've all put in their CVs, banks and so on. They've even called them for interview, but they have not taken them. The girl decides to start baking. From baking 1 cake to 2 cake, shredded pizza, she sells in the estate. The boy sits at home. The father gives him whether 50,000 naira, and then that's all he does. Sit at home, watch, goes out with his friends, gist, and come back and talk about all the problems in Nigeria and all. He's back. Now, this lady is moving. Are you seeing?
Yeah.
She's moving. Before you know it, somebody say, oh, come. They are doing Nigeria at 60. Come and do cake for us. And then she hits some mega millions. That relationship is like this now. It's no longer balanced.
Yes, sure.
The girl has entered the million league. The boy is still not doing anything. This is 3 years, 4 years after. Hey, babe, boo, blah, blah. When are we getting? You see, and before you know it, she begins to see guys who are more. So the guy is angry. That is it because she has become ambitious and successful. She's leaving me. But the trend has moved. So in the level she's in now, she's seeing certain guys who are more ambitious. So, and then, please, I wouldn't even advise her if she were my sister. That okay, except if that guy too is doing something, so you now see the guy now, and they are the ones that have time for social media. He really want to write all the things on Twitter and Facebook and like, don't mind girls, I was dating her from university, 3 years of my life, this, that, and he starts pining away on social media, but he was not seen to be doing anything, and it affects the relationship. Now, let's flip it. If he's the kind of girls that's okay, I'll still go ahead and marry him. Some do that.
Yeah.
She becomes a breadwinner. She's the one going out to do all the hustle. I know people. I'm not saying what I read. I know people that 10 years into the marriage, the woman is still doing everything. She's rising in her career. She's making all the money. The man has still not been able to place his hand on anything. And you see, let me tell you, women are not configured to be that way. We are not composition. God did not create us that way in such a way that you have now become masculine. Everything, you're the one doing everything in the home. Now she begins to and then she begins to even have resentment towards the man. She begins to resent him, and then you're having relationship and then the only thing the man will hold on to is because she has become successful.
Yes.
He said it's because she has become successful, but it's wrong. It's not right. It's not right in the sense that you did not do anything. You're not seen to be doing anything. See, every woman that loves a man wants him to grow. Women are ready to make sacrifices to even make sure. I've seen women who collect loan and then invest into their husband's business because she has the access to get that facility so that the husband's business can move. And that's because she knows that he will manage it well. That's because she knows that he's doing business.
Yes.
The one that is sleeping at home, why will you go and collect a loan tomorrow? You end up with EFCC to enable his laziness. It doesn't work that way.
But why do we have men that, for example, let's say the lady is earning more, he is earning less, but then he still has this egocentric whatever in him, and he feels like, the fact that I'm earning little, like as a for example, your relationship, there are some duties that you should do as a guy. Now sometimes you tell your babe, take this, but because probably you're seeing the lady as an independent lady, that how much do you want to give her that will make her happy? It's more like you're belittling her or something. Is that mindset correct? Because it still boils down to the fact that some guys are probably afraid of is it nurturing independent ladies because they don't know what the outcome might be? I don't know. Maybe some ladies would take it as an offense that how much is he even giving? Probably telling friends like, I earn 100K. At the end of the day, he's sending 5,000 to me as pocket money. What's that? That's rubbish. That's this and all of that. Can we actually? Is that a nice move? Is it a right move for a guy that probably has potentials?
See, like I said, and I answer it from both sides. A woman needs to be a woman in a relationship. You need to have your feminine side. Yesterday night, I called my husband because he traveled. I said, I need recharge card. It's not because I don't have money to buy recharge card. It was like, you have come again. And then before we could even finish the discussion, I just saw that recharge card is there. Because you need to be, it's not, don't be a man in the relationship. He's a man, you're a woman. Now, let me even just quickly run through how can men support independent, successful ladies.
Yes.
One of it is be a support system to her. In the sense that when she comes, see, every woman, no woman wants to take all the decision. Even as little as asking you, babe, what will you eat? She knows she's successful. She knows what to eat. It's not like she doesn't know. But she just wants you to, as in be a part of it, know. So, okay, do you want to eat rice and stew or this and that? And then if it's a grumpy that is feeling grumpy and say, you know everything, now go ahead and cook whatever. Are you seeing signals there? There's an issue in that relationship, But if it's a man that is secured in, because men need to be secured in themselves. If it's a man that is secured in himself, he'll be like, okay, babe, if you're not too tired, I would love to eat so and so. Or should I come and help you out? Let's do moi moi and something. So she wants you to take decisions with her. It's not because she's successful. See, when we do success, like I tell people, you do all these things, you go for a meeting, you crush the goals, you come back. At home, you're still a wife. You're still a woman and all. And the man needs to also realize that too, that it's a mutual thing. I look at Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. They're just a perfect couple go for me. I know they have their issues and all, but when it comes to this couple thing, you're seeing mutual respect, of someone who, I'm a president, or I was a president, but this lady, in fact, she's the president of the presidents. And you see that respect there. So it doesn't, every man should learn, if you have a successful woman with you, know that she wants you to take decisions with her. Also, know that she wants, every woman has a vulnerable side. No matter how tough we look and everything. I tell people I'm a crybaby, and people say it's a lie, Irene. I say I cry like, but it's not my husband that knows, because he wants small thing, and I'm like, my husband says, take it easy. But when I come out and you're speaking and all, people are like, see that lady is so tough. But because he has been able to get me to the point where I know that in him I have a safe space. I can cry it out, I can share it out. And that is what a man who is married or dating a successful woman, make sure you're that safe space for her. That she's able to come and tell you, oh no, she has done that macho meeting, alpha female in the office, where they are telling her, if your cabal is not up to this, by so and so, we're showing you the way and everything. And she'll mask it up in the meeting and also give it back to them, that I'm telling you that I have done this, I have done that. But be that safe where she'll come and meet you and be like, I'm not sure I can do it. Honey, I'm not sure. And then you're able to tell her, don't worry, you can. You have done it before. You do it. Okay, you know what? Her. Just go and take a bath. I'll make something for you. Then we go over it again. And then you're able to sit with her and say, no, this person in your team, the other day you complained about this. Maybe you need to move him to this place or move her to this place to get the best from your team. You're a safe space. In that kind of thing. It's about us. It's a goal. It's us. It's us making sure that we win. Against the world, so you have to create that safe space, and also be able to, you yourself must be ambitious for yourself, because see, again, successful women don't want men who are not, you don't have any drive. Exactly. Like I said before, there's no drive. I come back every day, we're talking, there's no drive. I'm like, okay, honey, I'm thinking, the next 10 years we should be able to get a house, so let's sit down and say, house? In this Abuja? Exactly. You mean people like us who own house? So you're bringing her down.
Because there are some guys, seriously, so many ladies are fall victim of this. There are some guys that, okay, for a lady, you need something. Let's say, okay, as a career lady, probably you're using, there's a particular gadget that you're really aiming for. But then you come to your guy and say, okay,
start from as little as a business. You tell somebody you want to start a business, like,
and they start giving you reasons.
What makes you feel like
you can't even try
you want to join them now? That you're going to make it in this
instead of you telling her, okay, Sandra, let's look. Okay, I like the fact that you want to do a business. Now, I'm going to look at your temperament. Let's work it together and see. Share the idea with me. You share. He might be seeing some holes there, but he will not tell you, okay, honey, why don't you look at it this way? You know that because of your time here, you might be closing by 4, and this business requires time. Should we look at it maybe in 6 months' time when you have done so and so? Now, I can see that you're in my corner.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the one telling me
Not
that.
Against
How can you think of doing that business? And you see, a lot of women have been shut down that way. See, a lot
Seriously.
of women have potentials. I talk with women and they tell me, Irene, I wish I can come out on TV like you. I wish I can speak like you. And I'm like, you can do better than me. But they'll say like, but there's no encouragement. Sometimes when I want to, my mom will say, are you one of them? Look at this one. So you too, you want to do Facebook Live like other people.
You know,
And
this
you laugh
thing is
at
as
me.
far as I was in a church program one time, and there was this. They were sitting close to me. The woman wanted to share a testimony, but the husband was like,
What's that?
is that necessary? What's your problem? And you know, I don't know. Maybe the engendered spirit in me was just like, can you just tell this woman to just go? You know, the man started giving excuses like, see, plenty people. See, what do you want to say? Like trying to talk down the woman. Probably,
yes.
even if she's going to blow blunders, do anything, let her just go and speak. Do you know the woman could not speak? But I think later, I don't know how, you know, the spirit of the Lord is one way or the other. You know, when the man of God came, the man said, there's someone that wants to share a testimony. But the man was like, you just have to share that testimony before you leave that church. Okay, I understand, but then you can come see me later and share the testimony. But then, as little as the testimony is.
Even some men don't, their wife will say, I want to attend a state meeting. Say, to go and say what? To go and disgrace me there.
I think.
So if you know that this person is not your level, let me just put it like that, because for some reasons they have one or two
taking up
reasons.
a degree, doing something else, they would say,
Why are you not encouraging her? Or why did you even hook up with her in the first place? Because
Some-
now looking at it that you don't want her to stop because her English is bad, or you
some
don't like the way
might-
she sounds, then why did you get
But some
involved
might
with
have
such
good
person?
English,
Some might even
but
have
they don't want you to make them look as if they cannot speak.
exactly.
No, because there are some, you know, somebody told my husband, and some other people have told him, your wife is always on social media. Is it that she's in Facebook like, Instagram like, or she's on TV? They always see her everywhere, you know? And my husband is a very quiet person. My husband said, it's even very good. That since he's not even on Facebook, since somebody is representing the family, see, when you're seeing the name, you're seeing Oba. You don't even know her first name. It's even her husband's name. You know, you're seeing Oba there. And you know, the person laughed because he is secured in himself. Because for some men, that's also a problem.
Yes.
It's not because your English is not good. Because they just feel you're too out there. I don't want her, and I don't want her to be out there like that. I don't want people to see her. And I don't want her to start entering her head.
Yes.
That
by the time the
she's-
fame comes, everything comes, how will she be able to handle it? Now they'll be
handle-
saying that's the husband, though, the husband of that lady. Doesn't mean I can't go out to do that. But no, I'm just a reserved person. You know,
If you're reserved, keep your reserve.
I mean, let her
But
go
if
out
she's
and
that
explore.
type that wants to come out, please encourage her to invest in her. Anyway, I go say, there is no way, just because it's not a speech you call me to come and do. Before the speech is over, I've told you I thank my husband because he has encouraged me so much that go and speak, and in fact, he will tell me you speak in UN. When I spoke in Oxford, I was like, he said, I told you I've not even gotten there, you speak in UN. And I'll be there, and I'll be snapping you picture. Now tell me, a man who has mastered, you are more educated than me, he'll be there snapping me picture. But because he's secured, you know. But some men will be like, you go to reach UN, you know, because they want to make sure that they cage you.
I feel they are insecure because they feel
No, they are insecure. Yes,
because
and most
they feel
men,
you're exposed. You start meeting people.
I've been
You
meaning
start
to say
meeting
something,
people.
but I don't want the word to judge me. But then
Just say it.
let's take into
We
consideration
have few
the
minutes left.
caliber of men we have now. That most of them just sit at home and they are making their money.
yeah,
You understand what I mean?
okay.
They just sit at home and
Those
they are
ones.
making their money. And now you see a girl you like, but she's a boss lady. Let me use the word boss lady. So now you cannot hang up with this kind of person because obviously both of you are on two different skills of she's on this level and you're on the other level, even though maybe for some reasons you might be richer than her because we all know how you got your money. So now these women end up being single. I'm trying to talk about what we talked about earlier, being single, bossy women and relationship, or career women and relationship. So now at the end of the day, she ends up being single because that guy is obviously not her type. I'm taking into consideration that we have so many of them at this point. So what could you say to women out there that are watching that know that they've tried and they keep failing at getting the kind of relationship?
Yes.
Because as a career lady, there's a kind of relationship you aim for. There's something you are looking for in a man.
Yeah.
And now
The kind of
I don't want to keep saying
that
they don't trust us
you. They are not the ones that
because
you really
those are the
want
kind
to.
of guys we have now. They are not even
Those
up
are
to
the
your
available
standard.
ones.
No, but they are not the only available ones. Can I tell you?
If you check the ratio of the amount of sane guys we have left and the level of ladies.
No, it's a myth. Look, I've also been, because of what I do, I've also seen lots of men who are looking for sane girls. So I also tell them where you hang out matters. Start early. Make your career goals early. But I see, like I said before, girls make other goals but not career goals. Make relationship goals. Make relationship goals early as well, and start early to bring out yourself and begin to know what you want. You know, in fact, you do know the funny thing is that sometimes women don't even know what they want until much later. You ask a young so they say, I want him to be handsome. Handsome means what now? How have they helped? Who did he help? He said, I want him to be handsome. I want him to be muscular.
Yes, to own a car.
So how has that helped people that did it? You know, so they don't even know what they want. You know, so if the guy is handsome and has a car, that is it. You don't even know whether he's the one that will support you in your goals. You don't even know whether he can help, whether he will beat you tomorrow, because the increase in violence is so much in marriages now and so on. You know, so start early, do your due diligence, and don't be afraid to call it quits when it's not working. When that guy, you see those manifestations, don't be afraid. And again,
the fear of being alone sometimes can hinder so many ladies. The fear of being alone, the fear of starting all over, the fear of, okay, I'm 27. My mom is here telling me you just have to get married. Stop saying no to all the guys. What's your problem? Do I need to go and see a pastor? You know, all these things can be so... No. It can affect the ladies.
No, it can, but refuse to be affected. And when you're in a relationship, don't be desperate. Because the men see the desperation, you know, okay, so this relationship now, 2 weeks into the relationship, where are we heading to? We're heading to Maitama now. Or we're heading to Kubwa. What do you mean by where are we heading to? This is just 2 weeks. I'm not saying stay in a relationship and become Lord of the Ring. They put a ring and stay with you 5 years. Yes. No, not that. Yeah. But at the same time, don't be desperate. And when you're dating means that you're open to this. Okay, we're friends, and try and have friends. You see, don't be, a lot of ladies in their 20s were recluses. They just stayed alone. You know, they stay, and you see this idea of you people, your generation now, renting house and staying alone. I don't understand it. Because in those days, you see 4 girls come together and they rent and they take one room and all. You know, it gave people more opportunities, because your friend will come from the office with 3 other guys, you know, and they say, who are your flatmates now? Say, Fumi is here.
You think that's really working now? Everybody wants to own their space. So it's my space.
You see, that's the problem too. This is my space, Only you in that your 2-bedroom bungalow. Only you alone. And you don't go anywhere.
And whoever wants to come.
But that is also a problem. Wow. Because I know that, see, let's go back to those things that worked. Because we're looking at, you see, individualistic lifestyle has not helped us. I tell people, even in raising children, yes, I don't want it to be both my child anyway. But at the same time, when you saw your mother's friend on the road and you were with one boy, like, you straighten out. Because your mother's friend had the right to come here. Sandra, who is that person? You know, but you know, our individualistic lifestyle has not also helped us so much. Because I know girls those days, 3-bedroom flat, 3 girls will rent it and they lived in peace. You had your own one room and everything. And then when your friend is coming, he's coming to visit you, maybe your colleague from the office, 4 guys are coming, this one 3. A lot of girls got husbands like that. And everybody will sit in the parlor and you're gisting and all. You say, I like that your flatmate Sandra. Please, can you link me to her? But when it's only you and your cat, and living in the house, because they don't buy cats. Like, you say, I like a cat. You know, you get a cat, you and your cat, and you're in the house, and you and your cat, you feed your cat, and then you watch TV. And you
God, I just wish this conversation could just continue.
How do you meet them?
We really, really appreciate. In fact, you've been so much on this episode of Engendered. Seriously, I hope the ladies are
because I think between me and Fumi, we need it more. We're engrossed in work. Fumi, Saturday we are going out. Yes. We are going. She said we should go out, meet people, meet and greet, smile. Meet and greet. She said no. She didn't say smile. She said laugh out loud. Rudely.
No, not rudely, but laugh. See, men love women. You're not too uptight. Even when you're married, I tell women, do you know why women age more than men? All the problems of this world is on the woman's head. And we're not paying school fees. We're not here. The man, even when the problem is on his head, we'll go and meet his friend. Oh boy, I bet me will drive out here. And then he has added to his lifespan. Meanwhile, the woman is at home. After praying, she's still worrying. You know, so you find out that, but I feel, see, just be a wife too. We have prayed about the problem. Yes, it's a problem. Honey, let's play peekaboo, please.
Oh God, Mr. we really appreciate this. Seriously.
Thank you so
much.
much.
The conversation could extend to, let's say, 2 hours, 3 hours, and we keep talking. Really appreciate. In fact, there's no parting word days. You don't need to say any parting. No closing speech. You said
she has parted us.
Seriously, viewers out there, I hope you've enjoyed every bit of the conversation, because there's no, you expect us to say, or you expect me to say, Sandra, what no, you're not doing anything. Just pick a point or two from what you've heard so far, and don't forget what she said, be intentional about yourself. This year 2021, as ladies, let's be intentional about our growth and development. That's how much you can take on today's episode of Engendered. Do well to join us next time for another exciting topic. I still remain Fumulayo Show,
and I am Sandra. I'll go see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.